Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to take you along with me to the 2024 Cabbagetown Festival. As you can see, the main streets are blocked off and businesses set up stalls and tents to sell their wares. The neighborhood is filled with beautiful old historic homes with gorgeous mature gardens. And a lot of the people who live there have yard sales during the festival. So as you walk through the neighborhood for about 10 minutes, eventually you will reach Riverdale Park. And Riverdale Park is home to the Cabbagetown Arts and Crafts Fair that's on simultaneously during the festival. The Arts and Crafts Fair is a curated event, and there's just so much to discover when you're there. There's food, all sorts of baked goods, jams, jellies, maple syrup, handmade clothes, jewelry, painting, pottery, even furniture to discover. Remember to keep watching as I'm going to have a Kate Spade unboxing for you, and I'm going to show you how I make my homemade chicken stock. I think this is a repurposed hood from a ride-on lawnmower or small tractor. Let me know in the comments what you think it's from. So as you walk through the park, you will discover Riverdale Farm. And yes, it is an actual farm a stone's throw away from downtown Toronto. In the distance, you can even see high-rise buildings. It has cows and even has horses. In one of my previous vlogs, I took you with me on a road trip to Burlington. So even though going to Riverdale Farm isn't technically a road trip, it feels like a road trip because it seems like stepping into another era and place. Riverdale Farm even has a resident barn cat, which is a rescue from the local city shelter. And they get to come to Riverdale Farm and live their best life. How wonderful is that? So Riverdale Farm has bunnies, it even has goats, and of course it has a poultry house with chickens, ducks, and I believe geese. It even has a windmill. I should add that Riverdale Farm is free to visit because it is owned by the city. And because it is just a stone's throw away from the downtown area, it is really easy to visit. You don't have to drive very far away, and you can even just get there by public transit. All the original farm buildings have been wonderfully preserved, such as the barn, poultry house, and of course the original farmhouse. In my previous visits to Riverdale Farm and the Cabbagetown Festival, I never really showed you what lies behind the farm, and that is a magical wooded, forested area. And it comes complete with ponds, little rivulets, and even a giant woodpecker. So as you're walking through the farm, you will discover on the far side of the farm signs for nature trails and walking trails, which will lead you into this woodland area. And as you're walking along the trails, you will discover a series of ponds, which is part of the city's nature conservation attempts. And the ponds are home to families of ducks and all sorts of wildlife. It really is a magical place. So now for a change of pace, I'd like to share with you a Kate Spade unboxing. This was a gift from a family member because I had mentioned to that family member that as part of my new job, I had to be quote unquote on call, meaning I had to be close to my phone for several hours at a time. I was only expecting something simple from Amazon, so I was so shocked to receive 2 Kate Spade phone bags. So these phone bags come with crossbody adjustable straps as well as interior and exterior pockets. The black one on the left even has credit card slots inside, so I could take them out if I wanted to go for a walk and I didn't want to be weighed down by too much heavy everyday carry things. So now, as promised, I'm going to show you how I make my homemade chicken stock. In a previous vlog where I showed you how I made my chicken and sausage soup or stew, I used powdered bouillon. And the reason for that is because I hadn't gotten around to making my homemade chicken stock. When I was a student, I fell into the trap of eating your stereotypical student food. So now I'm really trying to get a handle on my health. So I use my Zwilling food preservation system to save up the chicken bones, and I also save up any end bits from veg. So as you can see here, I even have some corn cobs in there, and whatever end bits of veg, I don't throw them out. I save them in the Zwilling plastic bags. So all of that goes into the biggest pot that I happen to have, and I fill it with water. And it's up to you how much water you want to add in. It really depends on how many scraps you've managed to save up. So everything goes in. I don't really add in any extra seasonings like salt and pepper because I know that I'll be adding in seasonings later on depending on whatever recipes I'm preparing. So then I just let it simmer away for several hours. I've made a video on how I use the Zwilling vacuum pump food preservation system, and as you saw previously, the plastic bags work really well in the freezer. So please check out that video if you're interested. So what I do is that after the concoction has come to a hard boil, I turn it down low and then I let it simmer for several hours and then skim off any foam that may rise up to the top with a fine mesh skimmer. And then after about 4 hours, I strain everything using a large strainer so that all I get is the stock. It's up to you if you want to skim off the fat that rises to the top, especially if you're freezing it. I'm just going to be refrigerating it because I know I'll be using it very soon, and I put the stock into sterilized clean jars. You might recognize this particular jar, which I thrifted a few vlogs ago. I wanted to leave you with a last glimpse of the woodland area behind Riverdale Farm. If you've watched this far, please comment below what you can spot bouncing around up in the treetops. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment and turn on that notification bell. It really helps my channel.